Hey everybody, welcome to Nightmares Anyone. I'm Richard. So it is Saturday, April 27th. Sorry I haven't been on here for a while. I've just been super busy and I'm getting ready for a 10-day trip on Wednesday. But on the 14th of this month, I finished this book. Come back after the intro. Hey everybody. Yeah, there's something outside. Oh my God, no. What in the hell is that? Would you guys like to be scared? Welcome to Nightmares, anyone. Let's get scared. Hey everybody, so welcome back. Thanks for stopping by. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to Nightmares Anyone. I'm Richard. I'm the one that reads all this scary stuff. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. So, this book by Glenn Rolfe, When the Night Falls, as you can see, it says not for resale. This book does not come out until June 11th. However, I was lucky enough to get this advance copy sent to me by Glenn. It came about 4 weeks ago. Sorry, Butters. And I picked it up right away. Now, this is the sequel to the author's 2020 coming-of-age horror novel, Until Summer Comes Along. Or Until Summer Comes Around, actually. This book, this was actually better than the first one. Now, let me throw on my readers really quick. You're going to hear the cat crying at the door. Yeah. So Glenn sent me this and he said, Richard, not sure this one will make you cry, but I hope you enjoy the ride. Welcome back to the beach, Glenn Rolfe. Okay. Man, oh man, what do I say about a sequel? If you've not read the first one, you might not want to listen to this review. Now, I'm not going to say any spoilers. I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but I can't talk about the book without talking about the first one, if that makes sense. Yeah, I can't talk about this one without really talking about the first one. So, first off, I'm going to read the back. Now, it's kind of hard because there's a banner across the back, but it says, Rocky Zukas lives with the ghost of what happens when you fall in love with a monster. Lucky to be alive, Rocky roams his beachside hometown, living on autopilot, waiting for life to start again. November Riley has never been far from the boy that stole her heart. She watches from the shadows, knowing she can never make things right again for them. And then I can't tell what that line says. And it says, a new documentary is bringing Gabriel Riley, the beach night killer, back to national consciousness. The dead serial killer has a trio of new fans that are ready to make Old Orchard Beach, Maine, their home for the end of the summer season. When the new strangers in town discover Rocky's relationship to the past of one of their own, he becomes their #1 target. Can November protect him, or will these other vampires prove too strong? When the night falls, blood will spill and death will reign. Okay, now, you guys all know me. I'm not the one to pick up a vampire book. Yes, we've all read that famous vampire book from Mr. King. Yes, we've all read Salem's Lot. Wow. These two books knocked Salem's Lot out of first place for me. This book, it takes 10 years after 1986. So of course it takes place in 1996. We can all do the math. Old Orchard Beach, Maine reminds me a lot of Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk here in Northern California. Now, all of you that have seen The Lost Boys, it's a vampire tale that takes place at the beach. What makes these two books, and this book is really not that big. It's not that long. It was only 233 pages. And I'm going to read to you what I wrote on my Goodreads account, and then I'm going to talk about this book. So, I had to make sure that it was okay with Glenn to review this book. I reviewed it on Amazon, I reviewed it on my Goodreads account, but I wanted to make sure it was okay to do this on my channel before the release date. And he said, Richard, go right ahead, do it. So here's what I wrote on my Goodreads account. I said, please note, with this being a sequel to the author's 2020 coming-of-age horror book, Until Summer Comes Along, and though I will not be giving away spoilers, I would not read this if you have not read the first book. Now on to my review. I was one of the lucky ones to have gotten an ARC of this book sent to me from Glenn, and this in no way influences my review. Glenn has sent me many books signed, and I've reviewed them all here on the channel and on my Goodreads account, and he knows I'm going to be honest, as well as all the other authors that have sent me books and I've done reviews, interviewed them on this channel. It did not influence my review at all. If I wouldn't have liked it, I would have given it a 2-star, a 3-star, 4-star, 5-star, whatever I felt, you know. Now, you guys all know this is my opinion only. You don't have to agree with me. You might not like this book. I was one of the lucky ones to have gotten an ARC of this book sent to me from Glenn, and this in no way influences this review. Of all my book reviews, either here or on my booktube channel on YouTube, Nightmares Anyone, which you're watching, are honest in how I felt about the book being reviewed at the time I read it. It is now 10 years after the summer of 1986 when 15-year-old Rocky Zukas first met a mysterious and very beautifully strange girl by the name of November. Now, he is a young adult and working at the Old Orchard Beach Fire Department. He can tell that something new is in town. He can just tell by the difference in the air and the change in the air, and he just feels something. And he can also tell that someone he knew when he was 15 is also back in town. He feels and knows that November is back. With a new television nighttime news documentary about the beach night killer, Gabriel Riley, coming out, the town is all busy with people obsessed with the serial killer again and his victims. But there are 3 very dark and creepy strangers among them. Their names are Vincent, Fiona, and Kat, and they are not your normal tourists. They're vampires. Rocky still misses and thinks of November all the time, but when he meets Kat, she suddenly becomes his new summer obsession. Is there something about her mysterious personality, or is Rocky starting another horror and blood-filled summer when he will have to become a vampire killer again? This book was actually better than its predecessor, I thought. And once again, this character's story made me tear up once. Actually, I teared up twice. Though 25 is not the same age as when we were all 15, think back to when you were 15. Think back to that very first person that you really thought you were in love with. Think back to how they broke your heart and what happened. Though 25 is not the same as when we were 15, however, we were still easily taken by someone that we thought was both beautiful and creepy and strangely different. The town of Old Orchard Beach, Maine could easily be any town, and that is what makes these two books so great. The scenes in this one, though, of the bleeding and turning in this novel is a lot more graphic this time around, but the part that I think I loved most is how Glenn Rolfe makes them travel. I will not give anything away, but be ready. It is so uniquely done and almost elegantly arousing in a really weird way. Is Rocky able to pick up where he and November left off, Who will be the survivors, if any, this time around? And what is his obsession with Kat and Vincent and Fiona? With the story taking place in the 90s, it was so cool to go back to owning a Sony Discman. It made me think of Erasure and Pet Shop Boys and Depeche Mode, and the Motels. And Rolfe takes you back there so easily with this book that you are never going to forget Rocky, Vincent, Kat, Fiona, and especially November. Phenomenal read about those creatures we all fear inside. And I know I am so grateful that they are not real. Or are vampires real? Thanks again so much to Glenn Rolfe for letting me pre-read this before its June 11th, 2024 release date. If you can, pick them both up and read them back to back. That is the way to do it. Get ready for some gory-ass bloodletting and killing, and welcome to Old Orchard Beach, Maine. Highly recommended for that horror lover who is not afraid of blood and body horror. I loved this book. 5 blood drops. This book, like I said, knocked Salem's Lot and even Robert R. McCammon's They Thirst out of position for my favorite vampire books. When I talked about how he makes them travel in this book, they don't fly per se, like, you know, and they don't just appear like in the old 1930 Dracula with Bela Lugosi. These vampires float. They just glide up. And there is a scene at the hotel where Vincent and Kat and Fiona are kind of staying that is so fucking phenomenally well written that I read it twice, actually. Yeah, I read the book twice. Now, I don't have a physical copy of the first book. When I read the first book, I also got it as an ARC form. Glenn sent me an ARC digital copy. I have asked him to purchase the first book so I can have them side by side here on my shelf right up there where all of my Glenn Rolfe books are. And I'm telling you what, you will, whether you're 10, whether you're 15, whether you're 64 as I am, you will not forget these characters. Rocky Zukas is such a, how do I describe him? He's quiet, yet he's very outgoing, but he will never ever forget the summer that he was 15. And what happened between him and November ripped me apart. But in this book, there's another scene that just, it tore me up. It got me really, really, really good. I can't wait to get that physical copy of the first book. Here's what the first book looks like. I know a lot of you have read it because I've talked to you, a lot of you about it. I want to read them back to back, and I want to read them literally back to back in one reading session. And I know I'm gonna love it even more that way, but this character just I haven't talked to Glenn, but I chatted back and forth with him through text mails and stuff. And when you read this book, I think you're going to like it more than the first one. I really, the scene, the blood and the gore and the scenes in the hotel and just, oh my God. Vincent is the most horrible bloodsucker that I've ever read about in a book. He makes Barlow Straker look like Raggedy Ann. He just, they're terrifying. And as I was reading it, I was thinking of both Kat and Fiona. And I know 2 women just like both of these women. And one, she would suck somebody's blood dry in a minute. You piss her off, you do anything against her, she's gonna pull a Fiona move on you. And there were a couple of really disturbing scenes with drugs, but there is one scene you're never going to forget it. The blood and the gore in this book are so perfectly written. I can't say enough about this book. It just it's a great book. And the cover art kind of looks like the image of, like, you can see somebody's arm here. It looks like they're walking down a boardwalk, and then of course there's blood here right at the neck. But this poor young man, I felt so sorry for Rocky at the end of the first book, and then I felt sorry for him all over again. And the character of November Riley is just, it's just a character I'll never forget. It kind of makes me think of the character from The Craft. Remember the part that Fairuza Balk played? And this young woman is so troubled, and her and Rocky need each other in their lives, and it's just great. I know you'll enjoy it. I know you'll love it as much as I did. And if not, that's okay. But it comes out June 11th, like I said. If you've been lucky enough to pre-read it, wow, you're lucky. But yeah, I want to tell Glenn a huge thank you. And like always, you guys, pick up a good book. Have a great nightmare. It's good to be scared. It's actually really, really good for your it's really good for your soul and your body. I love to be scared. And this book really creeped me out in parts, but it just it's a beautiful book. It's gory. You must like body horror, and there is some good bloodletting and gore scenes in here. And yeah, Glenn, you outdid yourself with this one. I loved it. So pick up When the Night Falls. Comes out June 11th, 2024. Get it wherever books are sold. Get it wherever you buy your books. And hey, you guys, take care. I will see you all later. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Have a great weekend. Just stay scared. Pick up a good scary book. Yeah, it's always great. Pick up a good book. This is one of them. Take care, you guys. Bye. Hey, you guys. Like always, it's me, Richard, with Nightmares Anymore. Don't forget to pick up a good scary book. Have great nightmares. Yeah, it kind of doesn't make sense, have a great nightmare, but have a good nightmare. It's being scared is good for you. Cleanse the old pumper. Be kind to people. Be nice. Enjoy your horror. Stay scared. And you guys, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, you guys. Yeah, he's creepy. I did a huge diamond painting of Sam. Maybe I'll give it away one day on this channel. Take care, you guys. See ya.